Hello everyone, welcome for this new episode of Timeout from Tamriel. This week you have voted for the Imperial City, and so we will be speaking about the future of PvP in the Elder Scrolls Online. But first we will start by introduce ourselves as PvPers. So Deltia, Timeout, it's your turn.
Okay, so my perspective of PvP, I kind of went for Emperor again this week. Got to second, but kind of fell sick from PvPing so much. I was getting migraines and almost vomited from playing literally like 10, 12 hours a day. It was crazy. But so I don't know if I'm in between casual and hardcore, I should say. I'm not like super hardcore, but yet I'm not super casual. Usually I'm the group leader and like organizing stuff and telling people where to go, explaining builds, and that's my position in past games. I've always been a PvPer for, 15 years now. My preferred PvP is definitely closed arenas and or objective-based PvP. 4 to 8 people, that's what I prefer. This game has a large-scale PvP system. Definitely not my favorite, but it is very cool nonetheless. So for me, I'm a charging in Dragon Knight, flapper, nuke everyone, burn them down.
I would say more on the side of the hardcore than the casual, honestly.
Okay, well, yeah, but not super hardcore. We're like, I play 12 hours a day, and I'm like, I don't want to PvP again for a week. Like, some people, there's the person that was number one played for 20 hours a day, no problem.
Okay, you are hardcore, not insane.
Okay,
Let's just put it...
That's insane to play 20 hours, and it wasn't just one day. I'm talking 4 days, like, dude. Anyway,
the entire campaign, yeah.
Oh yeah, like no, I'm like I'm just bored. I can't do anything. That's my perspective.
Sig, your turn.
As far as PvP in this game, I've got kind of a on and off relationship with it. I spent quite a bit of time back when the game launched, running around in Cyrodiil. Not as much as PvE, but a decent bit. And then I stopped for a real long time, mostly just because the travel time it takes to get to the fight. It annoys me. So when they got rid of the forward camps and you didn't see them as much, I kind of stopped playing the PvP up until here recently when I've been out running around with Deltia. Traditionally, I am a PvPer in other games. Really love the PvP in like Star Wars, Old Republic, the arena type stuff. And then, I like Deltia, I do like the small scale stuff, the arenas, objective based stuff, but I also like the large scale things as well. The Siege I enjoy. Dark Age Camelot, the realm versus realm in that game was amazing. So that's basically me. More time PvE, but I do enjoy the PvP.
Okay, well, let me introduce you, the super noob! First, I'm very bad at PvPing. You take me in duel with 1v1, even if I have the OP class, I'm not winning. Never. I'm losing my mind, like, oh my god, I'm a huge button, I need to play. But I enjoyed Battleground in World of Warcraft from a casual point of view, because that was the kind of stuff I enjoyed. I kind of enjoy Cyrodiil, but more for the adventure feel of it and the PvP adventure or that can happen. I kind of like to kill people, but I need to be able to do it. Which is why I need to be in a group. In PvE I enjoy to heal people, in PvP I enjoy to kill people, but I need to be helped by others because I have 0 survival and I'm very, very bad. I'm a very bad strategist. I'm more a bit reckless, barbarian kind of person, which doesn't fit at all with light wear armor, which I usually play. So yeah, I'm a mess. I confess, I'm really the worst person in PvP you could talk to. But and also I hate being ganked. I don't like the mean spirit that can come up with PvP.
But do you like PvP? Or you don't do it very often, do you?
The problem is that I kind of like it, but I'm too bad for enjoying it.
Well, when you say too bad, do you play in a group or you play by yourself?
I mean that I'm very clumsy. I'm a very unskilled PvPer versus other player. So if I was versus noob like me, I will enjoy it because that will be fun. But I don't really like to be smashed, bursted, destroyed, one-shotted, gang spit on the face, stuff
Okay, sounds like you've had an interesting PvP experience so far.
Yeah. Okay, well,
Loa, you
Imperial City.
tell us about it since you did some research and watched a video today, right?
Yeah. So the Imperial City had been announced on QuakeCon. Last year's we didn't have so much news about it. Since then, there's not much details. What we know is that this Imperial City will have several districts that can be taken by players, and so by Alliance. And so once you have a district, you own it, and you probably have advantage to have it. It gives you bonuses and a lot of loot. That's what I have remember from Brian's presentation. But what is interesting in the Imperial City is that it will mix up more PvE elements with world bosses, dark encore, stuff like that, and PvP. So this is something I find interesting when PvP and PvE join and merge and melt together, and you kind of have objectives, and then you can see an alliance fighting a boss, and then you take them by behind and you kill them, or you get killed by them, stuff like this. So yeah, basically in very short and very badly describe it, that's what Imperial City is.
Okay. I myself am looking forward to this. I don't like the blending of PvE, PvP. Never have, never will. Do not like it. But I get their idea of PvP and mine are different, and that's okay. They want to blend like the world and make it feel like it's an active environment instead of closing it off and doing arenas and stuff like that. Totally get it. Just not my preferred method. For Imperial City, I'm really, 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 really excited about it. The reason why I do not like sieging, I really do not. I think the siege right now in the game is a little bit broken, meaning that I haven't played Guild Wars 2, but essentially the most powerful ability in the game, I can place down within a half a second, shoot it right in front of me, and kill 15 people. Now, it's cheesy. Will I continue to do it? Hell yeah. Is it effective? Hell yeah. Is it cheesy? Yes. So for me, I really want something that takes the element of siege out of it. There's nothing worse than sieging a keep for 5 minutes to die and ride back for 5 minutes with the keep wall fully repaired. I don't like that. I don't enjoy that. Like, I want to get in the action. I want to kill stuff. I want to use my skill as a player, not a siege weapon. And for me, the biggest factor of why I'm excited about this, it's small in scale, and it's about your character. It's not about the siege. So I cannot wait for Imperial City.
Yeah, and you know, along those same lines, I'm hoping, you know, you've got these, they mentioned several different districts inside Imperial City, and I'm hoping they figure out a way to do some closed off arena or battle zone type stuff where, you know, there's a specific advantage or a specific objective, and, you know, it's very limited in how many people can get in and you know, fight. You know, like some 8v8 or something like that. But it should be pretty interesting, you know, from what little information that they've given about it. You know, there should be some new, at least one new motif for crafting to come out of it.
Imperial Daedric. Imperial Daedric.
Yeah, that ought to be pretty sweet.
Now,
you know, and
the blending of PvE and PvP. Now, what do you think about that, Sig?
It's always been an aspect that if the developer can blend it well enough and it makes sense to do so in the setting, I'm not opposed to it. I've seen it pretty poorly done in the past, but, you know, it's not to say it's going to be the same here. You know, so I guess it depends on, you know, exactly how they do it. You know, I guess there's a sewer entrance into Imperial City for each faction, and it's most likely going to have, you know, trash mobs in it, just the, you know, the same way as like guards around keeps that you don't own, well, that you'll have to fight through and stuff like that. So
the thing that I'm interested in is the crafting. They're going to be a new craftable set, and it's only going to be located in Imperial City, from what they said. So, what's the thoughts on that? Imagine being a PvEer and wanting to have nothing to do with PvP. Now you have to, and let's say you're on Daggerfall Covenant, the smallest faction by far, you're going to have such a disadvantage being able to get maybe the best crafted set in the game.
Yeah, but it's gonna be nice for a trading point of view and for the trading metagaming, where you can have a trading guild that will sell it, and so you will find a way around that. Of course, it will not be easy, but that's also something I enjoy in the Elder Scrolls Online. They are not, holding your hand all the time, and sometimes to obtain some stuff, you need to find a way around. It's not always convenient, and that's fine. So if you have a good guild, or if you have friends, or if you have a good trading guild, as it's cross-faction anyway, you will not have too much difficulty to find it, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, as long as it is tradable, I look at it the same way. I mean, it's just like any other game where you have, like the gear that you get from PvE and crafting, and then generally the raiding gear is, quote unquote, the best gear in the game.
Not in this game.
And well, not in this one, but I'm basically, just saying in general, if there's something specific that you want, and there's a specific way to do it, I'm okay with making people, do that method if they really want it.
But if that method isn't your preferred playstyle, I mean, think about it. It was like before when trials were the only way to get the best gear in the game. I hated it. I don't want to do 12-man content or girl content. I don't want to do that.
Right.
I don't want to have to PvP to do my PvE. And go ahead.
I think that now I've interrupted you. I've lost my idea. So just go ahead.
I personally don't like it because I understand the blending of the world, and I think the immersion is really there. And for those that love that type of thing and their development team, I think it's great. Personally, I don't want to mix my PvE and PvP. I am upset that the best gear in the game, best in slot, comes from PvP for PvE builds. Don't like that. Trials gear right now is considerably worthless in terms of the stuff that drops in Cyrodiil is the best PvE gear. I mean, I don't like that,
I understand, but that's something different, and we are going to slip a little bit. Concerning Cyrodiil, I find it interesting concept because you have, of course, the PvP fight, but you also have all those delve, all those dungeon, and all those activities that are fun to do as PvEer, like me, like a noob casual carebeer like I am. I enjoy to go in Cyrodiil to do those kind of activities, and I can enjoy the potential meeting I could have with opposite faction also, because it gives a little risk, it's like a chili dinner, it's a bit spicy, it's nice. So I don't mind if you can have it without farming or without being completely into the Zerging, or without farming Alliance Point, or without being Emperor. If it's in Cyrodiil, I'm fine with it.
But you can't. You can't be the best PvEer in the game without PvPing because of the passives. You can't be the best PvEer without being the best PvPer. The only way to reduce ultimate cost is through the Emperor passive. That's why it's so valuable.
Yeah, but I understand that they wanted to make something very special about Emperorship that were very good and very hard to obtain. But I don't think that it's something that people should aim for, or I will never want to be Emperor. I will never attempt to do it. I still want to be competitive in PvE, but I don't think you need it. It's just if you really want to be the top of the top. To be the top of the top, you have to need the top fingers as well. So otherwise, it's pointless to have 5% more in your armor.
Well, as far as like the future of PvP, besides Imperial City, I mean, we gotta have dueling. I mean, friendly duels. I don't care about dueling other people, like, to prove that I'm better than you type thing, but right now, you need some way to test your PvP build against someone else, and there's no way to do that unless you get on the PTS, or you have a friend in a different faction and do it. I miss dueling in this game, friendly dueling, so bad. I miss 4v4s. I miss AV8 objective-based King of the Hill type stuff. To be completely honest, it feels like PvP has has nothing in 1 year.
Um, yeah, maybe. I am all in
Defend
favor
that,
of
Ella.
having. No, I want. I'm up for duel. I think it's needed for the arena kind of style. Maybe they could make an arena with a championship, but it should not take in too much space because they want to have zero deal, which is a more organic way of PvPing, which is also what I kind of enjoyed in zero deal. It's immersive. Even that experience of PvP is immersive. When you go next to a fortress which is under siege and you hear the sound of the catapult and everything, you have the feeling that you are under war and that something is happening. And that's not something you have in other games. So I think that if there's an arena, it should be really lore friendly, like in the middle of the Imperial City, you have one, and it should happen there or somewhere else, doesn't matter so much, where you can have championship and stuff like that, but it should stay something small for fun, not something where people will spend their life, like in World of Warcraft, to be the best arena team. Otherwise, it will break something, I think, from the game, and I think that's why they hesitate to implement it as well.
Well, I don't think they want it in their game. I think as many people that we want it, they showed up to QuakeCon with a working arena system. Everyone lost their mind, and they haven't given it to us. It's the one thing the community begged for. They're not giving to us. So, I don't know. I'll give them a break on it because they have provided a lot of cool stuff. But for me, like, we got to expand on PvP. It's time.
I agree.
It's time to expand. It's time to fix lag. It's time to fix crashes. It's time to fix the invasion bugs. It's time to fix the things that have been in the game that hinder the experience of PvP. And to a lowest point, there is nothing like Cyrodiil and hearing the catapults and charging into battle and burning down your... There's nothing like it. It's fantastic. But at the same point, if you don't have a group of 24 people that listen to every single move, you're at a disadvantage, and it's not fun. Sig, what are your thoughts? You've been playing with me now, and we've been steamrolling some people, and you've seen the organized side of it versus just kind of rolling on your own, doing your own thing, dying here, and like, what has caught your eye now?
Well, like I said, back when the game first launched, I spent quite a bit of time out in Cyrodiil and running with some fairly large groups. The difference being is that they weren't as organized. You'd have a full raid of people, and half the group would not be listening at all and would be off somewhere else. But especially running with you lately, it kind of reminds me of a lot of the highly organized stuff that we were doing back in Camelot, years ago. I love the large scale, the feeling of just being in the thick of a massive battle, and it's been a whole lot of fun. And just watching the way, like this group of people that you've put together here, watching the way they all interact with each other, and we've got a certain objective, and we just go and steamroll it. It's amazing. It's a whole lot of fun, and it will get. I think once they fix, like the lag, and they got to figure out a way to do something about the travel time that's required in Cyrodiil.
Yes.
Once they do that, PvP will explode. A lot of people, I think, that stay away from it now would be more likely to get into it if it didn't take so long just to get to the fight.
Well, and I think I'm going to try to come out with guides to explain it. I didn't know that at first, and I hated PvP until I learned how to get into the fight faster.
Right.
And then also a thing that I think we talked about earlier is if you have a big enough group that's well coordinated enough, you dictate where the fight is.
Mm-hmm.
You can go take a keep and say, enemy, you're going to have to stop me or I'm getting your scroll. So it goes to show that it's just large scale, and that's just not for everyone. I wish there was a balance between the two. But overall, I love PvP in this game. It's just I think it needs a little more development, and it really needs to fix the bugs. Like, I think lobby PvP that we've been doing, I haven't noticed hardly any lag because there's not all these animations and procs and all sorts of other things they don't have to factor in because people don't have the gear.
Right.
So I think that I'm noticing that. I'm like, some way we have to fix this. But although, what's your final thought on PvP or Sig?
My final thought is that we have barely scratched the surface of the subject and that we have to stop now. because the discussion is too long. So next week, guys, we are proposing you 2 subjects to choose from: the first anniversary of ESO and a kind of summarize of everything that happened during this year, or the group content. You want to speak about that. We have seen that in the comments of the last episode.
And if you guys haven't seen Aloha's video thanking ESO for 1 year, you got to see it. I'll link it in the description. It is an utter masterpiece. It really is. So you guys got to check that out.
Everyone participated. It was great.
It was really cool. So ESO, I mean, we might be critical, but we all wanted to get better. We love the game. We love the community. And ultimately, you always want something to get better. I think there's room for improvement in PvP. Ultimately, there is a lot of fun. When you see that fire ballista going off and you hit 20 people and the catapults are swinging, you're like, oh my god, is this... It is really impressive. But, Sig?
You know, just my final point is, you know, PvP is in a pretty decent place right now, but it needs some flavor. You know, it just needs some flavor. So, you know, add some different aspects to it and they'll be golden.
I agree. The travel, need to work on that. Getting into the battle, it's 2015. People don't want to ride a horse for 15 minutes. They don't.
Yep.
So, well, Aloha, thank you for joining. Great work on that other video, Sig, as always. And
Absolutely.
we will see you guys next week.
Take care.
Bye-bye.